Heart pumping, muscles extending. Every body is a miracle. And though we share so much, everybody is unique. What's your passion? Hold on to it. We're here to help with a personalized approach to a healthier you. Hawaii Pacific Health.
And aloha basketball fans, welcome to the 40th edition of the Iolani Classic presented by Hawaii Pacific Health. It's game 1 of 12 for the girls' side, game 1 of 44. We counted all together for the boys' side as well. My name's Carter Uechi. I'm joined alongside by Dean Shimamoto. The first game today, well, a team from New York, the Long Island Lutheran Crusaders, taking on the Punahou Buff and Blue. Coach Dean, you ready for this?
Always ready, always ready. This is the most exciting time of the year, especially for a sports fan, a basketball fan here in Hawaii. We've been going to the Classic for years. I don't even remember how long, but it is in its 40th year this year. So I don't know if I've been here for all 40, but I've been here for most of them.
So it's 40th year for the boys. The girls started in 2007. So this is the 17th year we've had the Girls Classic. Long Island Lutheran coming into Hawaii from Long Island, New York, Brookville to be more exact. December 2nd, ESPN put out a poll for high school. They were ranked number 6 last year in their poll. They finished number 1. They had 3 McDonald's All-Americans last year. Got to talk to Coach Rady before the game, who's also an alum, graduated in 2012, She's excited to see what this squad is. Did you get a chance to talk to her as well?
I got to see them at practice this morning. So at 9 a.m., they were here practicing, and it was just as loud. So the people in the gym here, which is a great place to be, get the opportunity to hear this Long Island Lutheran team. And as a coach, a former coach myself, you know that communication is so important. So when you see teams come out, even during the warm-up time, and they're communicating, they're talking, they're spirited, it's usually a good sign.
So on your guys' screen, you see the 2 teams lined up at the volleyball 3-meter line. Punahou, the local team, has omiyage to give the visiting team from New York, the Crusaders. Buff and Blue coming off the first ILH game of the season. Yesterday, they lost to Kamehameha 44-26. So the Buff and Blue, along with the host Iolani Raiders, will have to play 4 days in a row. The rest of the Classic teams are going to play 3 games in a row, Thursday through Saturday, 4 games apiece each day.
Yeah, a lot of these Hawaii teams have their seasons crunched because they need to finish or they need to get into the state tournament by early February. And, just prior to that, they need to start and finish. So with Christmas and New Year's taking out a number of games or a number of possible game dates during those days, they have to fit them into January. And if they don't start earlier in December, the games are too crunched. They'd have to play 3 or 4 games a week. So they're starting some games as early as yesterday for the regular season.
So this year in the girls' tournament, there's 3 mainland teams. Etiwanda out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. Coming into the year, they were number 1. They were the national champs according to Max Preps last year. Long Island Lutheran, who we're about to see here, and Pinewood School out of Los Altos Hills, California. And the 5 local teams, the host Iolani Raiders, Hanalani, Hawaii Baptist Academy, Mililani, and the Punahou Buff and Blue, who we'll get to see in a bit.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. The teams exchanged omiyage, so a gift from Hawaiian Host, a little taste of Hawaii for the team from about, 5,000 miles away across the country, all the way in New York. So just found out actually during this morning's practice that they came in on a Monday. So Thursday game, they gave themselves the opportunity to not only have a few extra days, but to get acclimated to the time difference and the atmosphere and the environment and the weather and a little bit of everything. So they should feel comfortable having been here for about 3 or 4 days now. And again, a spirited practice this morning. They look like they're ready to go.
When I was talking to Coach Rady, I mentioned that I went to school in New York at Marist College, and I asked her if they wanted a direct flight or a connecting flight, and she goes, we did do a connecting flight. It kind of shortened up the trips a little bit, and from my experience, that's 11 hours coming here. They shortened it up, stopped over in Chicago, then ended up in here in the islands. But yeah, that was a little fun kind of story with her.
I've done that flight. I've done the Hawaiian Airlines flight direct to JFK, and that 11, 12-hour flight, it's something. I'm one of those that prefer to get there in the shortest amount of time possible, even if I sit on a plane. My kids are completely happy with it because they have more screen time than they would ever have sitting at home. But it is a long flight, and it's something that we, being from Hawaii, get used to, right? 6 hours is the minimum, no matter where you're going. In 6 hours, unless it's to a neighbor island. And so 12, it just doubles it up. But a lot of people here like to go to Japan, so that's sometimes an 8-hour flight itself. So tack on a little bit more, and you got that 12-hour flight to New York City.
The starters just got announced in front of us. I'll start first with the Crusaders. Olivia Jones, Zania Williams, Emily McDonald, Taylor Brown, and Savvy Swords. And for the Buff and Blue, Brooke Asato, Pua Saole, Halia Ho'opili, Anastasia Wright, and Zariah Wright, the two sisters in the lineup. For Coach Elise Umeracourt's squad, her second year in charge of this program, likes the foundation she's been building. We'll see what they have as they take on the Crusaders in the circle, Swords and Saole. And we are underway here in the Girls Classic here. Brown with the handle, goes along the baseline, back up to the top. They'll reset things. Left wing three, comes up short. A good box out there by Anastasia Wright, let the ball go out of bounds.
Punahou really noted their ability to play defense. So playing against Kamehameha last night, one of the top, if not the top team here in Hawaii, they held that team to 6 points. Had a really nice half defensively. They struggled to score a little bit on the offensive end, but held that team down, and their defense is really what is anchoring them and what they're going to look to this year to be successful.
Ball is kicked by a Crusader. They won't reset the shot clock. It just went out of bounds. 29 seconds on the shot clock. And Swords deflects that pass out of bounds.
The Crusaders no slouch themselves defensively. They are so disciplined. As again, you saw the communication during the warm-up. I saw it this morning during their practice. And usually when you communicate, you do a nice job defensively. And they seem to always be in the right place. Offensively, their sets are precise. So a lot of that is going to happen. There you saw that with the inside hand, getting that deflection and right up the court.
Z. Williams able to finish it with the left hand. The first points for the Crusaders. Now they come out in their press. Right on the hip of Wright, who drives the length of the court, and we are tied at 2.
Wright has that strong frame, the ability to take the bumps, keep her line directly to the basket, hold her ground, and then finish with control. So nice job by her.
Swords on the drive, good contest there by Saole. Rebound taken by the Buff and Blue.
Saole missed the entire season last season with a knee injury, so Buff and Blue are happy to have her back, and that's one of the big reasons why she's there in the paint, went up tall, just walled up there and took the contact and forced a miss.
Deflected pass taken away by Williams. Drops it off, bounce pass at the right block for Tay Brown. And a steal on the full court press. Williams, no. Second chance, McDonald, no. Rebound fought for and taken away by the Buff and Blue. Saole working on Swords on the right block. Fadeaway jump shot comes up short. Rebound taken and pushing the tempo. Williams. Dump off over to Brown, can't finish. Second chance. Stolen away by Asato.
This team from New York is just playing with some pace. They never seem to be out of control, but they're turning transition instantly. As soon as the ball comes off on a rebound, they're looking up and they have runners getting down the floor.
Wright stops at the elbow. Her jumper comes up short, falls out of bounds.
You mentioned for these ILH teams, the Iolani Raiders, Punahou Blue, they played a game yesterday and will be playing 3 consecutive games here in this tournament. So fatigue could be a factor. This Long Island Lutheran team showed up on Monday. They've been resting. I'm sure they've tried to stay active and feel like they're in the basketball mode, but they've had some rest.
Olivia Jones, the first long-range bucket for the Crusaders. And there comes a press. Little hand check there as Wright got sent towards her own bench.
Punahou, through the first few possessions, they've been pressed. One, they were able to get all the way to the rim, which led to their first 2 points of the game. Their only 2 points of the game. And for the most part, they've been moving it pretty well. In this man-to-man press, not coming with traps. They have the opportunity to clear it out and let their ball handler to do the work.
Wright has it. Initiate something top of the key. Now Zariah Wright able to get it and sneak it over the rim with the left. McDonald driving baseline. Nice finish with the right.
Zariah Wright, again, with another strong drive, this time to the left. Just took that contact, faded off, but able to get it to go off the glass. Really nice finish.
Brown able to steal that. And up ahead, McDonald in transition. To bounce off the backboard and the rim. It's 11-4 Long Island Lutheran. Asato with the runner in the lane. Rebound taken by Jones. Up ahead, Brown. And she's able to get the layup. Coach Rady's gonna call a timeout. We'll take a quick break and send it to one of our sponsors.
Full timeout, Crusaders.
Your brain controls everything you think, see, and do. 80 billion cells working together, creating the essence of who you are. Strengthen your brain, strengthen your life.
Brain Health Hawaii to me is enhancing my children's potential.
Connection.
Less anxiety.
Make the happy.
Improved focus.
Life-changing.
Freedom.
Clarity.
Take control of your health with Brain Health Hawaii.
We've always started ourselves as a hospitality company, so we're the first and last impression of our guests. Valet parking, do private parties, hospital, we do commercial properties, and then hotels. We'll pretty much do anything that's service-oriented and try to put smiles on people's face.
We're always looking for good candidates. We provide the skill set, the opportunities. So if you're looking for a job, go to our website, eliteparking.net/careers. We'll be definitely waiting for you.
Thank you to Brain Health and Elite Parking, two of our sponsors here at the Iolani Classic. 13-4, Lu High with the lead. 4:14 to go in the first quarter. Wright with the handle, splits the double team. Ball still loose, Swords on the ground, picks it up. And in transition, once again, the Crusaders go. Freshly into the game, Forrester has it. Gets hacked down low. Emily Forrester, 6'4" sophomore.
You just saw the hands. Tough patch, tough pass, tough catch, but able to just tip it back to herself. So not just 6'4" in size, but a lot of strength, a lot of ability to get there and finish. So that's the difference. Sometimes we have some really great athletes or just a lot of size, and they don't have the skill or the hand-eye coordination to be able to make plays like this. But at this level, at a team that plays at this level, their 6'4" players can handle it. They have guard-type skills with their hands.
2 quick fouls there for Jade Eldridge, Salgopolitelli. Now Swords off the bounce pass off that inbounds play. Gets it in with the left hand.
Long Island Lutheran switching up their press. They were in a man press earlier, sticking with their man. This time going to a 2-2-1 zone. So once you get used to it, you break it with the ball handler. You saw Wright get to the rim. They switch it up. People are in different positions. So if you try to break it the same way, those holes that were there earlier are no longer there. So a nice job, nice shift up defensively. And again, back into the man here in the half court.
Asato has it left side of the court. Trying to get rid of Williams, who's still on her hip. Now gets it over right corner, Ho'opili. Zariah Wright loses the handle, ball loose, picked up, staying with the buff and blue. Asato driving baseline, kick out, free throw line runner. Hits it, Zariah Wright. Just a freshman, has all 6 points for the buff and blue.
Zariah Wright has been spectacular so far. You see a lot of the other players here on Punahou getting sped up. And when you get sped up, you're just trying to survive, not try to turn the ball over, but not try to do too much attacking or generate offense. Zariah Wright is going straight to the rack, and she's using that body, using that frame, using that strength, and still a soft touch at the rim.
That shot too strong off the backboard. And Wright, she's trying to get out of that baseline, steps on the baseline. Ball will go to the Crusaders. Under the 3-minute mark here in the first quarter. Brown splits that double. And into the front court go the Crusaders. Jones has a left wing. Step back three, too strong. Long rebound chased down by Swords. Left block Forrester all alone. The second chance points there for Emily Forrester.
Long Island Lutheran pulling the press off, moving back into the half court.
Ho'opili working on Swords. Pass broken up, stolen away. And off and running is Savvy Swords. With a nice smooth finish with the right hand. You're shaking your head.
What? You see a girl that size in transition, she can shoot it, she can move. On the last possession down, she caught it, faced, made the perfect pass inside for the assist and the finish, and then caught it full speed, crossed the lane, went opposite hand, reverse in transition. So people that have seen Long Island Lutheran aren't surprised. People that know that Sword's name, they're not surprised. But it's still incredible basketball. Great to see these women just perform.
Swords will check out. Williams back in. Osato's pass stolen along the baseline by Williams. And McDonald and Jones, but broken up by Clooney. Still with the Crusaders, down low. Turnaround jump shot for McDonald is good.
This is one of those games, if you're Punahou, you're a coach for Punahou, you're just constantly yelling, get back. You see how great Long Island Lutheran is in transition. You do not have the opportunity to step up or take even just a second waiting before you decide to sprint. Because they're out and running. Everybody can grab a rebound. Everyone can throw it up the floor. And those types of mistakes, they're just few and far between. But if you get back, you give yourself the opportunity to defend your basket.
They did have options there. There was two Crusaders around that area that the pass is thrown. A little miscommunication there. 1 minute to go in the first quarter, 21-6. Lehigh with the lead. That pass goes all the way along to Asato, who's able to get that floater. Jones, corner to McDonald. 3-ball too strong, Asato with the board. Got a 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. She's trying to feed Clooney down low. Have to get it over Forrester's long arms and a little too high.
Yeah, again, playing against length and athleticism and the discipline of this team, your passes have to be perfect. You can't float anything. Your windows are so small and they're very short. So you got to make sure that you pass on timing. Your passes are accurate. There's just no chance. You see what happens if it's just a bit off the mark.
10 seconds to go. McDonald left wing 3. Front rim, no. Run fought for. Now in the hands of the Crusaders. Forrester, third chance off the glass. And good to end the first quarter. 23 for the Crusaders, 8 for the Buff and Blue. We'll take a break. Come back after this message.
Rox, what's going on over there? Come on. Some kind of orangey stuff.
I think it's orange oil.
Orange oil? What's that about?
For termites.
We should do that. But I don't think our guys do that.
So why don't we get the right guys?
At Pest Tech Hawaii, we offer orange oil treatment as an alternative to tent fumigation. So let our guys be your guys.
We're Pest Tech Hawaii.
Welcome to Hilo, Hawaii, where the water is as pure as the aloha that flows through it. Waiakea water is naturally alkaline, full of minerals and electrolytes, and always giving back to our planet and people. Live aloha, drink Waiakea.
After the first 8 minutes, Long Island Lutheran 23, Punahou 8. Your thoughts on that first 8 minutes?
Long Island Lutheran looked like every bit the team we thought they would look like. Still, I wouldn't call it jitters, but they're still finding their way here on this floor. So they are great shooters, they're great passers, great finishers. So you see the discipline in how they play defense, how quickly they get out in transition. But a couple of air balls, missed layups, a few errant passes, and those are some of the things you're just going to chalk up to 5,000 miles worth of travel and not playing a game in a few days.
Swords pass broken up. Saved right back to her. She has 6 points.
Mistake there by Clooney for Punahou. You hear coaches say it throughout your career not to save the ball underneath your own basket. In that scenario, saved it right to one of the Lutheran players who were able to cash in and get a layup.
That's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Crusaders. Right will inbound. Looking for cutting Asato. Ball is loose on the ground. Jones to the floor. She rolled a little bit once she got possession. Travel called.
Just another hallmark of a well-coached team. You see Long Island Lutheran first to the floor, getting down 25-8 game. First game in Honolulu, and they're diving on the floor trying to get loose balls.
Saole elbow jumper comes up short. Ball will fall out of bounds. Possession to the Crusaders.
Saole is going to be a big piece for this team. One of the main scorers for Punahou through this early parts of the preseason, and just rushed it a bit. Probably not used to playing against size 6'1", 6'2", 6'4". So until you see it, you can simulate it as much as you want. You can have an idea of what you want to do, but until you go against it, you really don't know. So it takes some time to figure out how you need to play against size like this.
Zanaya Williams able to hit the 3 on the other end for the Crusaders. Right driving, comes up short on that runner.
Wright just looks so comfortable. You know, she's not daunted, and maybe it's the freshman in her, right? Just wants to come out, just wants to compete, see what she can do against these players. But again, the resolve that she's playing with, the tempo, not sped up, looking for her opportunities, and actually getting to the rim and finding those opportunities.
On the drive, Taylor Brown looks like she might have caught maybe a knee or something to, maybe knee to knee. Came up limping a little bit, but she will walk over to the free throw line. Foul goes on Zariah Wright, her first. Emily McDonald will check back in. Brown's second free throw finds its way in. She has 5 points. She'll jog gingerly off to the bench.
Hard to tell. She is wearing that sleeve, or do you call it a sleeve if it's on a leg? I know it's a sleeve if it's on an arm, but she's wearing that tight legging over that left knee.
Swords picks up her first foul. Zariah Wright will take a break. Anastasia Wright will check in. She has the ball near half court. A pass to Asato, loose on the ground. McDonald first to the floor once again, but when she had possession, she was on that sideline. Inbounds pass taken by Jones. Williams for three, 2 in a row, no. Swords to the ground, fighting for that board still. It somehow gets it over to McDonald. On the right block and puts it up and in.
Long Island Lutheran back into that man-to-man press after the bucket. We've seen the zone, we've seen the man. We haven't seen them trap just yet, and I'm sure that's in their package defensively. I'm not sure if we'll see it tonight, but they're positioning themselves to be ready to send it, and you may see it in spots just for the opportunity to practice it, because the games moving forward after this opening round are going to turn significantly up.
That pass stolen away by Sword. She's leading the break. She has 2 others with her. Euro step and finishes with the right.
Earlier we see that cross the lane, inside hand reverse. Now we see the left side Euro step. At 6'3", just looking like Luka Doncic out there.
Now Forrester with the block on the other end, pushing it up ahead. McDonald able to finish, had 2 buff and blue running on the side of her. Coach Korth will call a timeout. We'll keep it here. Earlier you mentioned that Sword's last name that people around basketball are starting to know more and more. Her dad, Sean Swords, who is the associate head coach of the Long Island Nets, and her older sister, Sila Swords, who's a star in the making at Michigan, one of the 3 McDonald's All-Americans that's graduated from this team last year.
And this team, 3 McDonald's All-Americans last year, really incredible team. This year, 0 seniors. 4 juniors ranked in the top 60 on the Hoop Girls ESPN rankings, and no seniors. That's what's amazing is that as good as they are this year, and as well as they're likely to do this year, they're going to be better next year. So you're getting in a little peek into the window of what's to come. And a lot of these girls, they'll be playing at the next level at major colleges. And like Savvy Sword's older sister, Sila, in early multiple time already, player of the week. Amazing.
Yeah, Coach Rady, when I talked to her about losing all those seniors last year, she said this squad now reminds her of the squad 2 years ago when all those girls came and they had the new squad, and then she goes, you know what happened next. So she's hoping that the same thing happens with this squad that she has here. Sato thought about that deep three from the right wing. A pass along the baseline, taken away by Swords. Jones leading the pack. Kick out to the corner. Swords for three. Hit the deck, but the follow by Olivia Jones is good. She has 5 points.
We already noted how well this team gets out in transition, but when you see them running the floor, you see them space it, attack it. Other people are floating to the corner if they don't have the opportunity, and that's just high quality basketball.
Eldred Saga-Politele, top of the key with it, gets it over to McNamara. She's able to kiss it off the glass for her first points of the afternoon. Brown uses his sword screen. Now Forrester screen. She's driving in the lane, finishes with the left.
Just a deadly hesitation. Came off of that ball screen action, going left. Quick hezi and the explosion, the burst, 2 steps ahead.
Right working on McDonald. Has it on the right wing. Stops, bounce pass over to Eldridge Sago-Politele. That's blocked by Swords. That's last touch by the Crusaders.
Nice last couple of possessions for the Buff and Blue. They need to be as precise as Long Island Lutheran. Long Island Lutheran is not going to beat themselves. They're not going to put themselves out of position. They're not going to gamble when they can't get it. So the screens have to be accurate. The cuts have to be sharp. The passes have to be on the money. And when they do that, they'll get a chance.
You heard the shot clock buzzer, but the Crusaders had possession. And down on the other side, Williams able to get that go in transition. 35-second shot clock here in the Classic. McNamara with it. Bounce pass over to Eldridge Sago-Politele. McNamara right wing three, comes up short. Long rebound taken by Brown. An already long pass over to Swords, who tips it to herself. Kick out to Jones. McDonald for three. No good. Offensive rebound. Swords up and in.
McDonald has been a little bit off here in the Honolulu air. Maybe it's a little different. You can tell the way that she strokes that ball, the way that she takes those shots with confidence, you're well aware that she can make those. And coaches aren't saying stop shooting, they're telling her, just get on track, it'll come. And it'll be exciting when this team starts firing on all cylinders. And I think as the tournament goes on, you'll start to see that.
Brown was all over right, trying to bring that ball into the front court. She'll pick up her first foul. Pili now brings the ball into the front court, driving. Her shot blocked by Swords. McDonald with the ball, already looking ahead, will keep it. Now give it off to Farron back. She can't finish. Rebound taken by Wright.
You look at these Crusader players and they're just unfazed by so many things that go on. And again, how you can tell the quality of the coaching is there's been some calls, maybe some iffy ones, some no calls, some foul calls and things, and it just doesn't faze them. They're not there arguing. They may fall down, they get right back up, no reaction, continue to play basketball. And I think that's obviously a product of the coaching, but a product of the example set by their coach as well.
Williams will head to the line. As the first one rims out. She's one of those you mentioned in that top 60, according to ESPN. Number 45 in her class. Number 7, point guard. Got invited to the USA U16 team trials as well. It's the second one to go. She already has a handful of offers. I tried to count them all on her Instagram page. By my count, more than 30. I lost count after that.
I'm sure she loses count. So many different, you used to see those in the movies about the recruits where they have letters in what looks like chests or big boxes, and it just looks endless.
Clean baseline jumper there from Emily Forrester.
Emily Forrester, as you mentioned, 6'4", but that soft touch from range. One of the sophomores here on this team, not a part of this highly touted junior class, but Forrester's going to climb up those rankings, you have no doubt.
Brown, kick out to Williams. Three ball, takes 3 bounces on the rim, then settles down. She has 11 points to lead all scorers here. Trouble in the backcourt. Ball goes out of bounds. Another forced turnover there by that Lu High press.
We spoke about it earlier. The Crusaders haven't really found the mark from three-point range. They're putting up shots, they're getting good looks, but haven't gotten a lot to fall. Let's hope, again, that they get on track by the Alakai three-point championship contest on championship day on Saturday.
Step back jumper there for Tay Brown. The first half will come to an end. Long Island Lutheran puts up 53 in the first 16 minutes. Buff and Blue held to just 10 points. If you're both of these coaches, what are you telling your girls in this little halftime here?
I think both of these teams just had different missions coming into tonight, different goals. Long Island Lutheran wanted to get their legs under them, play a game, work through their sets, get some game shots up, test the wind, you know, their ability to manage the fatigue, just getting up and down, right? They want to just get used to that here so that they can be on track to play tomorrow and then again on Saturday. Punahou wanted to see where they stood. They played an important game for them last night. This game matters. This is a part of their preseason, even though they're already into their regular season. So they're trying to work on things to improve themselves, right? They need to be good in January and hopefully get to those games, state tournament games in February. So this is a learning experience for them. So they want to come out, play the defense they played last night, and hopefully improve that because, again, they have a small league, a tough league, and they need to be good against those teams. So what can you pull away from this game that you can use moving forward? So their goal was to continue to get better, to see these girls compete against great competition and make the most out of this opportunity.
And with that, we will take a quick break and come back after these few messages.
When you come to Iolani, something you'll constantly hear is one team.
Our one-team culture began in athletics.
In arenas that demanded humble leadership
and persistent teamwork.
Over time, this ethos has found its way into almost every aspect of life at Iolani.
Ways that are both felt and found in passing.
In its simplest definition, the idea of one team isn't very unique.
We've all heard it in speeches or stories about the team over the individual.
But this implies too little for a way of life we have defined with so much.
You see, one team values shape our education.
Pairing knowledge with character.
Passion with discipline. It reminds us of humility in success.
And persistence in failure.
One team reveals that the true impact of our education doesn't only lie with what we've learned.
It develops in us values that see the compassionate choice.
choices that give back and solve problems that matter to all of us.
It's the understanding that when we stand for each other,
We lift each other up.
The One Team spirit endures in our global community of educators and students,
artists and entrepreneurs,
doctors and lawyers and researchers and leaders,
who all recognize that the greatest challenges we face are overcome when we work together as one.
This is what we pass on to our students, faculty, families.
Because we believe this is the most gracious way to live,
as well as the greatest foundation to go out into the world
with great poise, empathy, and determination.
Iolani School, one team.
Heart pumping, muscles extending. Every body is a miracle. And though we share so much, everybody is unique. What's your passion? Hold on to it. We're here to help with a personalized approach to a healthier you. Hawaii Pacific Health.
We are back after those messages. I'll give you guys a rundown of the schedule and what's to come. This is the first of 4 games today. Scheduled to tip at 5 o'clock. Hanalani taking on Pinewood, coming to us from Los Altos Hills, California. Then the 6:30, we'll have the host Iolani Raiders taking on the Hawaii Baptist Academy Eagles. And the nightcap, Mililani High School taking on Etiwanda, who last year, Max Prep's national champs. They lost their Gatorade Player of the Year in Kennedy Smith, but a new squad there for the Eagles. At halftime, looking at the scores, Emily McDonald leading the way with 12 points, Williams with 11, Savvy Swords with 10, Tay Brown with 9, Forrester with 6, Olivia Jones with 5. And then for the Buff and Blue, 6 for Zariah Wright, 2 for Brooke Asato, and 2 for Ka'ua McNamara.
So we're getting to see on the floor Pinewood warming up for their next game against Hanalani to come. So Pinewood, we're expecting to see a lot of fireworks out of that team. A lot of three-point shot and a lot of accuracy. So they will need to be on the mark earlier. Again, a shorter flight, just 2,500 miles, maybe about half the distance traveled from the Long Island Lutheran Crusaders. So Pinewood and Etiwanda, both out of California, making the trip over to Honolulu. And so, you know, just an interesting thing of note, the teams that come from the Iolani Classic, they're all Nike teams, but the Girls Classic has just 3 teams from the mainland coming from outside of Hawaii. And those teams, because of the popularity of this tournament, how many teams want to come out to play here in Hawaii and play in the Iolani Classic, those teams are booked out about 3 years ahead. Again, only 3 teams per year. The boys' side has about 7 teams from the mainland, but at 3 teams a year, they've locked up all the way till about 2027, and I'm sure they're booking it even further. A lot of these teams have such great programs, and you'll see that a lot more out of the girls basketball teams than you will see out of the boys teams. A lot of the boys teams these days, at least the ones on the rankings, are academies. So a lot of players coming in for 1 or 2 years. And teams like Long Island Lutheran will have those teams as well, but they do have established programs where they have these players for years and years, and they develop them, and you can see it in how they play. Getting out in transition the way they do, spacing the floor, finding each other, running their sets with precision, switching defenses from a man press to a zone press with that type of efficiency. It takes years of coaching and years of people in the program buying in. So these programs that you'll see on the girls' side, high level basketball. Not a lot of the dunks and maybe the spectacular plays, but if you're watching basketball as a fan of basketball, or if you're a coach, if you've ever looked at things beyond the NBA style excitement, then these are the teams to watch. It's great basketball. Long Island Lutheran in years past, Archbishop Mitty, Clovis West, so many good teams with just high quality execution.
So to your point about the mainland teams, those coming in, we've had 31 teams from the mainland or the continental U.S. We've had 3 teams from China, 1 team from Japan here for the girls. And both Long Island Lutheran and Etiwanda are making their classic debuts, along with Hanalani actually. And then for Pinewood, this is going to be their second year coming back. They won it in 2018. But I also was told by Coach Rady that she wanted to give a shout out to Sunshine Cafe, little restaurant in Waikiki, and she said they have the best avocados. She said she's eaten it about 5 times already. It turned into the pregame meal. So I guess if you put up 53 points in the first half, they're probably going to eat it again tomorrow. But she said, I've been getting made fun of by the girls and the other coaches about how often she's going there. But she said the avocados there are the best, and she's had fun eating at Sunshine Cafe.
It's no different. I've traveled to New York, and there's things that I would eat every morning because I know I can't get it when I go back home, and I'm sure it's the same way here for Coach Rady. Get what you can get in Hawaii while you can get it.
Just about to get the second half underway. Karuechi, Dean Shimamoto here on the call. Game 1 of 4 today. Savvy Swords has it. Now back top of the key. McDonald for 3. Still hasn't locked in from long range yet. Last touch by Jones and out of bounds.
Saw them practicing that set earlier during the practice session and looking for that diagonal screen to the down screen. So a screen the screener type of action to get the shooter that open opportunity.
Swords leading the break. Tangled feet there. Turnover right back to the buff and blue. And Wright gets her shot erased out of bounds by McDonald.
I mentioned it earlier about how these players just don't react. Went down hard, no complaining, got back up, dusted herself off, ran back down the floor. Again, no reaction. Just keep playing basketball.
They actually called Swords there for her second foul. Anastasia Wright able to get the first free throw to go.
The Wright sisters, big pieces for the Buff and Blue moving forward into that ILH season. If they're going to make a run at a state tournament berth or an ILH championship, those 2 players need to be big for them.
McDonald with the step through, can't finish from the right block. And Asato with the handle brings it into the front court. Jones comes out to meet her. Now Wright with Williams all on her. Able to get it over to Ho'opili. Williams switches right onto her. Able to tip it away. And Olivia Jones through the contact plus the foul. She came out of nowhere after that tipped ball.
Crusaders just so sound defensively, staying in front. Punahou trying to maintain that handle, but really ball handler out on an island at the top of the key, just near half court, not really the opportunity to attack. And if you don't threaten an attack, then the defender will attack you. And in that scenario, you saw the Crusader defenders just pushing up and then getting out in transition after that tip, touch, finish. Just so strong.
After that missed free throw, second chance bucket there for Savvy Swords. Showed the patience down low. Sato, good pass, finds a cutting Saole for the basket. But quickly, Luhai with the answer, McDonald in transition.
As we mentioned at halftime, the Buffalo have that goal of competing, coming out and competing, making sure that this is not a game that's lost without learning. And so on that last possession, a lot of standing. You see these players, the steal and the and one finish there earlier, where the players on the floor were just kind of waiting for action. And against a team like that, you need to create the action. So whether it's off the ball movement, cuts and flashes, you can't just leave the ball handler on an island against defenders like this. And Pua Saole able to get that curl to the finish, just making something happen, creating the action off the ball. So important to keep these defenders honest.
Crusaders number 21, Savannah Swords, second team foul.
Sato, another cutting Saole, but that's blocked by Swords.
It took the Buffalo a little bit to get into that action, but once they did, read the play correctly, caught Pua Saole on the slip.
Down low, Zariah Wright. It's quiet in that second quarter. Gets that to go, can't finish on that steal there. Brown pushes it up ahead. Williams for three, hits it. Zanaya Williams, the first Crusader to kind of find her range here. Her third three already.
Just a beautiful push in transition, a look across the court, squared up three, just went up and knocked it down.
Now Forrester will check in. Out goes Swords, give her a little break. Brown gets it to the corner for McDonald. Williams, 2 in a row. You bet she has 17 to lead all scores.
You just watch this Long Island Lutheran team play, and you get lost in which player is which, because they all execute so well. They can all shoot it, handle it nicely, get it up the floor, share the ball, play great defense.
Say that ball went off of Williams' foot, I think, went out of bounds. Buffalo will get possession back. Wright driving, but to get it over to Saole, stolen away by McDonald. Brown with it, thought about a three, but Forrester was all alone on the right block.
On a me team, Williams heat checks that and puts that up with the closeout coming in her face, but just made the right pass, made the right play.
Tay Brown, that ball got a little sticky there. Got stuck in her hands. She was trying to get it over to Williams.
One of those scenarios where she knew where she wanted to go with it and tried to make it happen before she caught the ball cleanly.
Wright picks up her dribble. They do find Clooney. That pass intercepted. Williams finishes with the left.
Punahou seemed to get a little bit comfortable playing against this man-to-man, a lot of action. And Long Island Lutheran switches up in the 2-3 matchup zone. You try to throw that same penetrating pass to the open cutter, And the zone players are sitting in those areas, sitting in those holes. So we saw it earlier in the game with the press going from the man to the zone. Here in the half court, switching up into the 2-3, and then a little bit of a newer formation here again.
Brown jumped that passing lane. She'll pull it back here. Jones with the handle. The double team comes. Ho'opili nearly took it away. She'll get called for the foul. Now we're going to see Coco Lowmiller. The first time in the game, wearing number 12 there for the Crusaders. Lowmiller with it. Over to Forrester. This pass tipped back to her. Cross court, Williams doesn't have 3 in a row, and Forrester, that's just her height, goes over the top.
Cooney did her best. When you talk about block out drills, she was trying to get her body backing up. Forrester still able to reach over the top, but Clooney still backing up, back into, might have been her shin.
Buff and Blue get the stop there, right bounce pass stolen away by McDonald. McDonald will bring it into the front court. Jones for 3, front rim no. Rebound taken by Wright. Ho'opili with it on the right wing. Lefty jumper. Comes up short. Jones head up. Gets it over to McDonald, who stops to defend their flyboy. Kisses it off the glass.
Not a bad shot by Ho'opili, a shot that she can make. Took it there on the right wing, but what you can't do is watch. After you take a shot, you better be taking 2 steps backward towards half court and then turn and burst and get in front of that ball, because the ball is going to be moving. They have runners. It doesn't matter who comes into the game for this Crusader team. They are looking up in transition, and they're throwing those passes to get it up the court.
Jones driving on McNamara through the contact once again. Gets it to go, plus the foul.
Really a pick your poison scenario defensively for the Buff and Blue. If you commit too much to the help, it's a dump off to Forrester, likely, for an easy bucket. Or a kick out to a shooter, which could be Williams, or another one of these great shooters. So do you decide to help, prevent the layup, and give up the potential easy dump off or kick? Like, your rotations really have to be on point to stop this team.
Right driving. The jumper too strong. Second chance here for the Buff and Blue. Right driving, her shot blocked. The pass hits the foot of Lowmiller. Into the hands of Clooney. Ho'opili. Out of right, driving. Splits the double. Can't finish off the glass. Jones with the board. Head already up. She'll keep it. Now push it over to Williams, who rattles that 3 home. She has 22 points on 5 3 balls.
There we saw that situation play out exactly. Get back, get into the paint, suck in, prevent the drive, and then a kick out to Williams into the corner, and she makes you pay.
Lowmiller is going to get called for the foul. She went to the deck trying to grab that ball. Ended up grabbing a wrist there.
Anastasia Wright on that last possession offensively for Punahou. You can see her improving. So the possession prior to that went up, just got smothered by Forrester, and then on the ensuing possession came down, took a little bit more time, split the defense, got the ball up on the left side clean, not able to get to go, but improving and learning throughout this game.
3-ball Ho'opili comes up short. Forrester's trying to fight for that board. Bodies hit the deck is right. He's also trying to wrestle for that one. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter, 45.8 seconds.
Check it back in for the Crusaders.
That 6'4" just went to the floor, right? I mean, it's a long way to fall, long way to go. But she just willingly did. That's their culture. That's the understanding that you know you have to go get it. I don't care who you are, what age you are, what the score is in the game. If there's a ball on the floor, you got to go get it. That's a habit that's being built there.
Poapili finds a cut in. Clooney can't finish. Dawson fighting for the board. Ripped away by Forrester. Williams, does she have 6? She does. 25 points for Zanaya Williams. 1 second to go. And the buzzer will sound at the end of the third quarter. Luhai 80, Punahou 18. We'll take a quick break. Be right back.
Caring for the people of Hawaii has been HMSA's mission since day one.
As a father, everybody just wants the best for their kids. HMSA allows them to get the best health care they can get.
We believe in meeting you where you're at. That's why we have the largest choice of doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies across the state.
Having HMSA as a coverage, we know that we're gonna be covered no matter where we go.
Caring for you is our privilege. It's why we started this company. It's what we do today, and is what we'll continue to do tomorrow.
Hardware Hawaii.
We're back here in the lower gym at Iolani School for the 40th annual Iolani Classic. It was established in 1983. Zanaya Williams, her 25 points, including 4 3 balls this in the third quarter, leads all scorers here, as the Luhai Crusaders have 4 in double figures.
As well as their shooting and as well as Williams is shooting, they have other shooters that haven't found the mark exactly here tonight. So I'm expecting an even better performance. It currently stands at 80 to 18, and they're not maxing out what they're capable of doing. Executing and taking the shots that they want to take. And there's a belief there that if you continue to do that over the course of time, the law averages will play out. And if you consistently take better shots, you'll score more.
You start the fourth quarter, you still see the Luhai starters out there. You talked about it earlier. They're adjusting from coming over 5,000 miles. They're trying to get their legs back under them and make sure their clocks don't go back to, 9:30 their time in New York. As they come up with a stop. Williams thought about a 3, now driving baseline through contact, no. Jones with the board. Second chance. Doesn't get it, but is fouled in the process.
So you mentioned Long Island Lutheran, first time here on the girls' side to the Iolani Classic, but they did appear on the boys' side with an incredibly good team. Andre Curbelo coming here, one of the top players really in the history of the Classic, just had an incredible performance playing against great teams. Zed Key, who went on to Ohio State. Just a really good team with Long Island Lutheran. And the reason I mentioned that is Derek Klein, who was an assistant on that boys team, is here with the girls team. Gave some advice and said, hey, you know, last time we came with the boys team, we showed up a day before. And they played an opening game against Kamehameha and Christmas Tongiai, and Christmas Tongiai was impressive. Put up 20-plus points against Curbelo and this Long Island Lutheran team, and I believe had the lead through the first half, and so they said, hey, we're not messing with that this year. We're coming in on Monday. So made the adjustment, and I think you're starting to see that, right? Not as much time required to get acclimated. You're not using the first half to say, hey, let's be okay with it. This team walked in, got some practices in, got a shoot around, got used to the weather, maybe got hopefully a few fun things out of the way early before the tournament started. And you're seeing that performance here tonight. Just a great team.
Sword's gonna get called for 3 seconds.
Punahou basketball.
Well, part of the goals that we talked about at halftime, Long Island Lutheran wanting to get used to this atmosphere, used to the gym, get their wind. And that's why you're seeing this team, 82-18, obviously a significant margin, clearly going to win the game, but their starters are currently in this game still because they need to get used to playing these types of minutes. It's not a fatigue thing that they're worried about. This is really a more get warmed up situation so that when they come into tomorrow night, again, they are firing on more cylinders than they are tonight.
Now we're going to see 3 subs come in, including for the first time an 8th grader, Bridget O'Hara, wearing number 5, along with Coco Lo Miller and Rylan Fehrenbach. Brown on the drive is fouled, which will go to the line for 2 shots. This Lu High team does have 2 8th graders, Lucia Dersh and Bridget O'Hara in New York and some other states. I can't remember how many states, but 8th graders playing on vars is allowed.
Yeah, I think in the program they had them listed as 9th graders, but yeah, definitely one of those things where you see people and other leagues allow 8th graders as these legendary former players from different high schools that talked about playing and averaging 20-plus points during their 8th grade year playing up in varsity.
Down low, Eldridge Sagapolotele can't hit. Lo Miller swings back to O'Hara. Her 3 no good. Down low, Fehrenbach gets a second chance here. O'Hara, does she have the second? She does. And look at the bench go.
Really look at how these starters, these stars support their younger teammates. And I'm sure it's an example set by the players that have left this program. The stars that they had last year that went on to play high-level basketball this year as freshmen. That was an example set last year, and I'm sure they were being supported when they were the younger players, and they want to give that same experience to these young players here for Long Island Lutheran.
Going to the hole, Tay Brown fouled.
Punahou foul number 12, Brooke Casato. 14 foul.
Foul goes on Brooke Asato. And now we do see Lucia Dersh in the game, wearing number 13. As Tay Brown gets the second one to go. Under 5 minutes to go in the first game of day 1 here of the girls tournament here at the Iolani Classic. Chloe Usher. It's over to Ollie Clooney. Zariah Wright with the spin. Almost had the finish, but will go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Zariah Wright has been a real bright spot here for the Buff and Blue. Just a freshman herself, but playing with the poise of a much older player. Great tempo, great pace. And you see it around the rim. The players that can mix that explosion to get by the player and then use the strength and then slow back down to put up a finish with touch and give it a chance to go in. We saw that a few times, mostly earlier in the game for Zariah Wright against the press, getting all the way to the rim, a soft floater, and that time the spin with the underhanded finish and then knocking those down from the free throw line.
She has 12 points as both free throws go. Brown with the handle, swings it over. Fehrenbach for three. No, follows her own miss. And she'll go to the free throw line. We're going back to Zariah Wright by my notes. This is her first career game in double figures, just a freshman. Her previous high was 8 points against Moanalua back in their invitational they had last week. Ryland able to get the first free throw to go there. And in comes Emily Forrester, out goes Tay Brown. Now all 5 starters can get some rest.
You know, really seeing Zariah Wright, Anastasia Wright here, the sisters for Punahou, both really good players and strong frames, kind of that mid-size, right? Like not too small, not real big. Perfect size here for Hawaii basketball. Really just reminds me of the Wileys at Kahuku. Very similar. We're going to see them on Friday night on OC16. But they'll be one of the top teams in Kahuku, and it really just does remind me of that here on Punahou with the 2 Wright sisters.
Forrester becomes the 6th Crusader in double figures with that basket. Masato serving the court, able to get it to Wright. The floater comes just a bit short. Fehrenbach is pushing the tempo and will take it the length of the court. She has 4 points. Thought about passing?
Yeah,
McNamara,
McNamara just got stuck in that scenario where she was trying to take the trail, trying to take Forrester away, but just gave up the easy layup.
Alethea Hayashi will check in. Out goes McNamara. Sato will throw it in. Gets it into Hayashi. Sato's pass tipped. Clooney able to go up there and grab it. That pass too high for Chloe Usher down low. 2:59 to go in game number 1. Lehigh with the big lead over the Buff and Blue. Game number 2, Hanalani taking on Pinewood. And Brooke Asato still playing hard, forces that turnover there.
If you're Punahou and you have the option to choose defensively what Long Island Lutheran gets to play, I'm not sure if you'd rather see them come out and pressure in a man or sit in his zone with the length. Using the shot clock, you got to pass over it, shoot over it, dribble around it, and through it. And even if you manage to slip through a crack, just as they did there, you have to manage the contest from 6'4" and 6'2". Sometimes you might rather see that man, and maybe you have less help defenders just sitting there waiting.
Before that shot, what a pass there from Wright. Swung it in with that left hand. Low Miller hits the deck. Held ball. Once again, that bench showing the energy in a game that's decided. Cheering on the reserves out there on the court. Love the effort there from Low Miller. Bounce pass down low. Fehrenbach. And one off the assist from Lucia Dersch.
Again, all these players returning, no seniors. A lot of youth on this team, but also a lot of just savviness. I think you see that locally a lot on the Konawaina teams where the programs are so good. You see these players just executing at a high level from the time they're really young. And this is where it starts if you're on this high school team. You see what the older players are doing. Yes, they're highly touted. Yes, they're tremendously skilled, long, and athletic, but it's how they execute. It's how they conduct themselves, cheering on the bench while they're out, how they set the example of going to the floor no matter what the score in the game, no matter who they are. And if you're a younger player, if you're a player that really wants to work themselves into the rotation, you have to do that. It's not a, it'd be nice to do that. It's a, you have to do that. No matter how many points you score, how many steals you get, you're gonna have to get to the floor, execute, play great defense, be a great teammate.
Bridget O'Hara hits the three. And for the first time this year, we get to try out that third digit there on the scoreboard. 101 points for Luhai.
It's one of those scenarios where it really didn't look like they were trying to score 100. Right? They're just executing, they're finding the open shots and trying to knock down the ones that are available to them.
And also because of that shot clock, you aren't able to have the stalls and take the time and just pass it around. So it gives teams more opportunities to get the players in, get shots up, and all of that too.
So tough with the shot clock to play against this zone. I mean, they move well, they're not out of position, but every pass, whether it's low, in the passing lane, contested. You can't throw over it because they're so long and they move well. And if you make that penetrating pass to the inside, we saw it earlier, perfect pass, beautiful, and then contested shot at the rim by 6'4".
And there is Lucia Dersh. A big smile on her face. I was talking to her grandparents in the stands earlier. Her older sister got to come last year to the Imua Invitational and played with Hamilton. Forrester gets it up to Dersh.
Forrester thought about that one at the top of the key. I saw her dribble it up. She obviously has more skills than just a big player.
And now Bridget O'Hara leading the break.
But that's what I absolutely love about the girls' game is the players have so much versatility. I don't care how tall you are, you can still handle it, you can shoot it. You're not just somebody that stands in the paint and acts big. She can handle the ball, she has great hands. Wanted to see her attempt that three. I have a feeling that shot doesn't look too bad, but in most cases, she's so dominant on the inside or has so many assets there that she can use that most times she's out there, but I'm pretty sure she can shoot it decently.
Right cutting, can't finish. She's falling away from the basket. Couldn't get that shot to go, but Clooney working for a third chance here.
5 seconds left in an 80-point game, and she only knows one way to play. Clooney just plays hard, and we saw it throughout the game. It didn't matter who she was going against.
And there's Fern back, right on the inbounds. Two-hand blocks it back, out of bounds. Nearly came away with the steal there. Asato for three, no good, and Clooney had another offensive rebound, just not enough time on that clock. And at the end of the game, your final score, Luhai 105, Punahou 22. We'll take a quick break and come back, recap the game for a little bit.
When it comes to AI, there's something big happening. The smallest things are creating giant revolutions. At Worldwide Technology, we're at the forefront of AI. With our one-of-a-kind AI Proving Ground, Cyber Range, and full-stack approach, you can build, test, protect, and implement AI solutions that deliver for you and your customers in a big way. Worldwide Technology. Together, let's make a new world happen.
Heart pumping, muscles extending. Every body is a miracle. And though we share so much, everybody is unique. What's your passion? Hold on to it. We're here to help with a personalized approach to a healthier you. Hawaii Pacific Health.